Hey everybody, I'm Stacy Lynn. Today I am making a fabulous rice dish. It is perfect for picnics, perfect for barbecues, and just about any other time. It is super fresh, and I am making a rice dish made with pineapple and pecans. It's going to be so out of this world. Well, the very crutch ingredient in this dish is rice, obviously. So I am using Ralston rice, which I absolutely love. It's a non-GMO rice that is grown right here in the United States. It is so good. I have tried every one of their rices and they are all fabulous. They have rice galore. They have purple rice, red rice. They have 5,000 acres of rice. So we're using Jasmine rice today. You can get this rice at Publix, Kroger, Whole Foods, Sprouts, Fresh Market, and Fresh Thyme. So y'all go get this rice. It's definitely worth it. I'm going to be using a cup of the rice along with 1 1/4 cup of water. I may add just a little bit more. You just want to make sure when you're using rice for a rice dish, you just want to make sure that you don't get it too saturated, especially if you're going to add a vinaigrette, kind of like I'm going to be doing a little bit later. You don't want it mushy for sure. So I'm going to get that started. I'm going to bring that up to a boil, and then I'm going to lower it to a simmer. I'm adding just a tiny bit of salt. And I'm going to bring it to a simmer and let it go until it is done. So while I'm doing that, I'm going to be preparing all the other ingredients for this amazingly fresh tasting salad. So the first thing I'm going to do is get my cucumber, which they are so overpopulating my garden. I have got so many cucumbers, y'all. I don't know if you can see all those over there, but they are just everywhere. But I'm going to just peel it a little bit. I don't mind having some of the skin, and I think it adds color to the rice. The rice is white, and I want to add color because everybody eats with their eyes before they eat with their mouth. And I want to make sure that it is a beautiful salad as well as a nice, healthy, and toothy salad. Okay, so I'm just going to I'm going to leave a little bit of the green on, as you can see right here, and then I'm just going to cut it up into small little chunks. And we're going to be using some green onion, and we're going to use some toasted pecans. I've got some toasted pecans already done, and I've actually made some bacon too, because that's going to add that great little salty element that we all love in our salads. So hang in there. I've got my cucumber cut, and now I'm just going to put it in the bowl. I'm just putting everything all together right now. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is just put my green onions. So I'm just going to kind of cut them on the bias. And it's going to add not only color, but a really great brightness to this dish. Okay, so I just have 2 onions here, and I'm going to probably do almost the same amount as my cucumbers. I'm going to be adding mint, which is going to add another component of freshness, and you're going to keep a little bit of mint back so that you can garnish with the mint. And I have mint growing out of my ears. I don't know if any of you grow mint, but it grows in full force and takes over everything else that you plant near it. It'll even jump from one of my little gardens to the next garden, and I have to go out and pull all of it out of there. Okay, so we're going to use about 1/4 cup of chopped mint. You don't want to use too much because it can be overpowering, but it really does add a lot to a dish. So I'm using spearmint. I have a spearmint mint outside growing, and I've got all kinds of stuff. I've got a chocolate, and I've got a peppermint. Okay, I'm gonna add that right here, and that's gonna be beautiful. I'm gonna save a couple of leaves for garnish in the end. Okay, so now I'm gonna get my bacon, and you don't have to do bacon. You can have this a completely vegetarian dish if you want to, Or like me, I'm probably gonna add a pineapple lime marinated piece of chicken with it. At least some of my guys will. Okay, so I'm gonna chop up the bacon. I have 6 pieces of bacon, and I'm just gonna add that straight into the bowl. Okay, here we go. Over to the bowl it goes. And I'm gonna add my pineapple, which I'm not gonna use all of the liquid. I have the canned pineapple, but you obviously can use fresh. It would be absolutely wonderful. So I'm just gonna add the pineapple, drained with my spoon, right into the bowl. I'm gonna keep back some of the pineapple juice to put into my vinaigrette or into my dressing. Okay, so I'm gonna add, I have olive oil in this bowl over here, and I'm adding about 3 tablespoons of pineapple juice to that. Okay, and then I'm gonna add some lime in just a little bit. All right, so the next thing I have is crumbled up goat cheese. I love goat cheese. Now you could use feta here. You don't even have to use cheese at all if you don't want to put any cheese in this. Parmesan would be great. Anything that has a little bit of saltiness and a little bit of maybe a tiny tad of sourness, because you're going to need that to offset the sweet pineapple and the honey that's going to be going in the dressing. I also have some cranberries, so I'm just going to put those right into the bowl. Okay. And that is almost all of the ingredients for this. So now I'm gonna make my vinaigrette. All right, so I have the olive oil and the pineapple juice inside a bowl. Now, a lot of times I like to do this in a mason jar, but today I'm just, whisking it up, because you could keep this in the refrigerator, make a double portion of this and marinate your chicken, marinate a skirt steak for, probably 4 hours, and it's ready to go on the grill. And then you can have that right alongside this amazing salad. But for now, I'm just gonna be doing it right away. So it's, fine just to put it in a bowl. So always, if you're using lime or lemon to get a little bit flavor, you'll want to get the zest of the lemon or the lime. And key limes would be good right now too. And then you could finish everything off with a key lime pie. Oh my goodness gracious. I have one on my website at stacylynharris.com, and I have tried so many different ways to make it. And the way that I have on the website is just always the one that I go back to. So I've been working on my meringues this week, and I've got a really good one that goes on a chocolate pie, but I'm trying to perfect it. I think it could be better. Okay, so I have the zest of about 1 lime, and I'm gonna put about the same amount of lime juice as I did the lemon juice. Okay. I have all of the measurements on the recipe at stacylynharris.com. Okay, so I want to make sure I capture any of the seeds in the limes. And another hint with the lime or lemon, you can put them in the microwave just for a couple of seconds. They'll get nice and soft, and they'll release a lot of their juices. Another tip here is if you're making a soup, and I know this sounds crazy, but if you're making a soup, you could put a half of a lemon in there and just let it go with the soup, and it gives it a really great brightness. I do that with my vegetable soup all the time. It's so good, and it kind of goes really well with a tomato base. So just for extra added flavor, you can do that. Okay, so I've got my lime in here, my pineapple, and now I'm gonna put a little bit of honey just to sweeten it up just a tad. Okay, so I'm gonna use about a whopping tablespoon of honey in here. Okay, and a little bit of pepper and a little bit of salt. Not a whole lot, because I have put some salt into the rice already. Okay, so I'm just gonna whisk that up really good, get it nice and emulsified. And it's really great though to do it in a mason jar and then to have leftovers, or to add more if you want more, to add less if you want less. Okay, so in the end, it should look like this. And it's kind of a thick little dressing. Super, super good. It's gonna be great with that rice. Since the rice needs to be cooled a little bit before you put it in this salad, because I like this room temperature, I don't want it to melt that goat cheese, I have some in the refrigerator waiting for me now, and I am ready to assemble this luscious fresh salad. So I've got my cooled rice, and I'm just gonna pour it right on top of the rest of these ingredients. Right, and now I'm gonna put a little bit of the dressing, probably all of the dressing, on top of this. Here we go. Look at how beautiful that looks. Okay, so you've got your sweetness, your lime, you've got everything in here that you could possibly need, okay, that for flavor. And I'm just gonna mix all of this together without breaking up the goat cheese. All right, and you can see all of the fresh colors right now of just the cranberries and the pineapple, the yellow, the green, the white, the bacon. So you've got salty, sweet, you've got all kinds of flavors going on in here. Okay. Get that nice and beautiful. Really get the rice incorporated in there the best that you can. So, and you could just, if you're making it for the same day, you can put the rice in the refrigerator to cool it off, or you can just leave it at room temperature. This is a wonderful dish at room temperature. Even chilled, it's a great dish. So that's a good company dish for sure. Okay, now I'm gonna put some of my nuts. I toasted them for about 5 minutes in a 350-degree oven. Okay, I'm gonna save some to top it off with. I'm gonna be eating this right now. If you are not gonna be eating it, don't put the nuts in until you are about to serve it, because they will get kind of soggy and you won't like that. Okay, and this dish would be great too with mixing some of the Ralston rice with it. You could use a red or a purple, and it would give it a nice toothiness along with the beauty of this jasmine rice. Okay, all right, now I'm gonna plate it up in my pretty dish. So yay. And then I'm gonna top it off and make it even prettier with a couple of mint leaves and a few pecans. Okay, delicious. Can you just see that with a piece of that chicken right on top of that? All right, perfect. Okay, so I'm gonna add couple of pecans, okay, and a few leaves from the mint. Okay, just drop that right down. This is going to be so good. I have company coming today for lunch, and I'm actually going to make a skirt steak. Actually, it's a venison hindquarter, which I call a skirt steak because you cook it pretty much like that, and it's going to be so delicious. It's been marinating in the pineapple, the lime, vinaigrette with a little bit of honey. It's going to be so good. Okay, so I'll put a few big ones, a few small ones, and then it's going to be time to serve it up. Okay, so just look at how beautiful that is, and you are ready for a picnic, a barbecue, or just a good time with friends and family. I'll talk to you later. Go get some Ralston rice, and I'll see you next time.